2023 season. I am Nick, joined by producer Brad.
Hey.
And special guest host, former 49ers lefty pitcher, Will Lancaster. What's up, Will?
What's up, guys? I'm glad to be here. Long time coming.
Oh, my gosh. This has almost happened a couple times. We'll talk about it in a minute. Kevin's not with us tonight. He is out on assignment, as we like to say, which that's what they say on the news when somebody's not there, right? He's out on assignment. It's actually spring break in Cabarrus County in most places. He and his family are up in D.C. They went to an Orioles-Yankees game at Camden Yards, and now are taking their boys around Washington, D.C. for the first time. So that is what they are doing. And we reached out and said, "Hey, Will, how would you like to step in and pinch hit?" And here he is. So what do you think about this so far, Will? How are we feeling?
Well, this has been fun. I mean, it's going to be fun, I should say. I know we talked a couple times last year when I was playing about coming on here, and then of course, Matt Brooks wanted to take all the spotlight, so I think he got a show. But which isn't surprising. But it's cool to be able to get on here now that I'm done and going to be able to reflect a couple things and talk about the current team.
So tell me if I got this straight, but we did have you booked on to the show last year, and is that when Brooksy threw the one hitter against Winthrop last year? Is that
now that you say that might have been, and I kind of feel bad for saying something. I just know that Coach Woodard texted me and said, "Hey, would you like to be on Diamond Niner this Wednesday?" I think is what it was. And literally I'm responding, "That would be great." And he says, "Actually, Brooksy is going to be on because he hasn't done it yet." And I was like, okay, that makes sense. So I don't know if it was the time that he had the one hitter, but if he did, then I guess he was very deserving in that case.
There was another time, actually, he got rescheduled, and I think it may have ended up happening that way. Okay. He was scheduled to be on, and then you guys where were y'all in a tornado warning? Where you
Middle Tennessee? That was at MTSU. It was that was the Thursday because we were practicing. We were practicing when it happened the day before. Or no, we played Thursday, so that was Wednesday. That's right, because y'all did the show on Wednesday. So it was Wednesday evening, and we're practicing at the field. It starts to get windy, and then we hear sirens like on campus because it's a legit tornado warning, and we're literally running to the bus, and then we're the bus drivers running red lights. No, I mean this for a good reason to get back to the hotel, and then we ended up having to sit in the stairwell for 30 minutes or an hour. So that was a fun time.
Yeah, and Matt was texting me, and he was like, "Hey, I can't really come on because I'm in a stairwell." And I'm like, "Hey, I think that seems a little more serious than coming on the show."
It would have been cool if we could have done like a full team Zoom in the stairwell.
Well, I mean, in retrospect, that sounds like a good idea, right? But I guess
there's a lot of panicking going on.
Yeah, with the we might have seen somebody crying or something like that.
Yeah, you're probably right. I'm sure somebody was.
Will Butcher.
Will Butcher, of course. We know Will Butcher. He's a big boy, but he's a teddy bear.
So that's how that went down. Anyway, you know what? It's long overdue, but here you are, and we're glad to have you. So
I'm glad to be here.
Well, why don't we're going to talk because you're still at the Hayes all the time.
Oh, yeah.
We talk all the time. Why don't you just update everybody on what you've been doing since last season ended, and then we can kind of get into talking some baseball.
Yeah. So right after the season ended, we were at Southern Medicine tournament. Came back and was pretty set on that being the last baseball game I played, or I was going to play. Excuse me. And then, so I quit throwing, obviously, didn't see the weight room for a little bit. And then I got an email from the MLB Draft League that Josh Madole had talked about that he was going to end up going to. So that kind of caught me out of the blue, and then it ended up being me, Michael O, who's now the pitching coordinator, and Josh went up to Pennsylvania and State College. We played in the MLB Draft League. I think it was 6 weeks. So we got to pay to play some baseball. we lived in the basement of an older lady's home, which was the sweetest lady ever. We had a great time. We met a bunch of new friends. So we ended up doing that, and then, at the conclusion of that, I continued. So when I came to Charlotte, I was in a certificate graduate program, and then I decided when I was done playing baseball, to continue into my MBA. So I officially applied for the MBA after that, and then ever since then, so this past fall, and then now into the spring, I've been finishing my MBA. I'll be done in August, so I've got a couple classes this summer. And then so I've been doing that, I guess, part time, and then the other time, my I guess great aunt and uncle own a vineyard on some family land, so I've been out there about half of every week, trying to do some blue collar work and fixing up the land and yard work and stuff like that. So it's been fun. It's definitely been a slower pace than what I was used to for the past 5 years playing college baseball, which has been cool. It's been breath of fresh air in that sense. As much as I miss baseball, it's been awesome to kind of see different or see the world in a different way. Especially now that in the next few months I'll be jumping into the career type job, and so I'm trying to take it easy. And then while I'm doing that, I'm obviously getting out into about every game and using the tickets from Colin Kramer, my newfound brother's been getting me tickets every weekend, so which has been a lot of fun. I'm enjoying watching it from the outside and kind of analyzing stuff, and I'll probably get more frustrated from the stands now, which is as expected, me and Matt Brooks. So, but it's been a lot of fun, and then a lot of fun watching the guys. About half the team, I guess, is probably from last year, and then looking forward to moving on to the next stage of life.
So I'll probably show my ignorance here, but let's talk a little vineyard action here. So are we talking grapes, Scuppernons, Muscadines? What are we growing?
Yeah, so it's grapes. It's grapes. It's a family land. So it's always been family land. There was an older house there, and then so now my family's starting to redo it, and it's it's turned into a functional vineyard, especially in terms of wine, or making wine. I guess we don't, as the vineyard, we don't make wine. The local Richard Childress Vineyards is who actually makes the wine, but it is with our grapes. We have, we're building a bigger tasting room now, and then redoing the house to turn into a bed and breakfast, and then for wedding venues type thing. So this is all kind of on the way up. It's not 100% functional. I mean, it's open every weekend for drinking a little wine, listening to some live music, which is cool. But so I'm there throughout the week, kind of just doing work, and it's been a lot of fun. It's been a lot of fun.
Now, is this actually at Childress Vineyards? It's right adjacent.
No, so it is not. It's in Lexington.
Okay.
It's probably, I don't know, 5-10 minutes from Childress Vineyards. So we just literally, I mean, it wasn't too long ago. We packed up grapes in the back of a U-Haul, like filled up the back of a U-Haul, and my great uncle drives it over to Childress Vineyards, and their winemaker, actually makes the wine.
Yeah, I've been there several times. We used to do events there and stuff like that. RC built him a great spot there.
That's where my sister actually got married. So it is a great spot.
Yeah, it's a first class facility. So that's pretty cool. Yeah. Now, you mentioned sitting in the stands. So, and you and I had a chance to talk about this a little bit. So you're finding it as far as the flow of the game and watching the action, it's more difficult to sit in the stands than to be in the dugout or in the bullpen or even on the mound.
Yeah, I mean, because I think especially with me starting last year, you're only in the game once a week, but you still feel like you have more influence. Whether that be, the starting pitcher in between innings kind of saying, hey, I noticed something, whatever that may be, or just kind of cheering because you don't want to be overly boastful in the stands. At least I don't. I'm not, I'm not quite to that point yet.
I will get you there, Will.
But yeah, so it's frustrating in that sense because I really don't have any say-so and definitely don't have, immediate impact. But it's been cool to watch it from a different angle and kind of notice some different things.
Yeah. So, what would be this? This is a question we would have asked you if we had got you on in season. But looking back on your time at Charlotte, what's one of your favorite memories? You got something that sticks out? Was a favorite performance or just something that happened? Or
yeah, I mean, it's tough. If you look stats wise, my best performance was one of the worst weekends for us as a team. It would be UTSA. That Saturday game, that was my best college outing. Obviously it ended up not being great for us as a team. But I mean, I don't know. As a team, you have, it's easy to say this game or that game. I think it's also cliche to say, the bus rides and going to eat and all these things. I don't know. It's hard. To be honest, this is going to fire you up. Probably the Marshall series. Just because that's the kind of a place. I mean, anybody that knows Huntington, even more than just the baseball field, it's not the paradise that you're looking for. So for us to kind of go in there, and especially, I think if I remember correctly, that was shortly after our really tough run in the middle of the season. So when we went in there, it was kind of like, we needed to win all 3 games. And on top of that, like, it was not a fun place to be. And to kind of go in there and with the grimy, I remember the weather was not great. At least one of the day I pitched, actually, we had a good delay. But to go in there and grab 3 wins, and then, we got on the bus and we were playing the West Virginia song. Kind of just the joy, that you feel with the guys after that kind of a weekend, those kinds of wins is really what sticks with you long term.
Well, I don't know why you're looking at me when you're talking about Marshall. I really don't have anything to say about that. I have no idea.
I know. Yeah.
But I'll add in there my own. You pitched a gym that Saturday at Old Dominion.
Yeah.
I was there for that, and that was a good one.
That I agree. And that's another really good team memory too, because we ended up, it's funny. I look back and I'm like, okay, I got 7 1/3. Like, I must have not given up a lot of runs. And it's like, I think I gave up like 5, which was 3 home runs, which typically is not the greatest of days. But at that park against that team, to get out of there 7 1/3, 5 runs, it's like, oh gosh. Like, that was the best hitting team. I said it as soon as I came off the field. That was the best hitting team I'd ever faced in my life. And, I would stand by that now.
That day wasn't about the stats. It was about keeping the team in it.
Right. And then we had, we were hitting the ball like crazy. So that makes you feel even, I guess we probably put up 10 or 12 runs that day. And then on top of that with the weather, and that's another place that's not, it's not paradise. It was freezing cold and it's windy. And then to go in there and win 2 or 3 against that quality of a team. And then I think we ended up being ranked after that weekend. That was a great weekend for us as a program.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. So, all right, well, let's talk some baseball. And by the way, I meant to mention this. I should have already. Coach Woodard is going to join us. He is going to be calling in. Keep an eye, producer Brad. Keep an eye on the incoming line there. He is going to be calling in from an undisclosed location somewhere in the stands of a high school baseball game in the Charlotte region. Believe it or not, of all the things you can do in the NCAA now, okay, you can straight out put cash in a brown bag and hand it to a player and call that an NIL opportunity. You can do you can just, the SEC's been sneaking around doing it for years. You can just do it in the open now. But a baseball coach still can't go to a game and actually say they were there. So anyway, what he's going to be calling in from an undisclosed high school baseball game somewhere in the Charlotte region, and we'll get him on when he comes in. But in the meantime, Will and I are going to talk about last week's baseball games.
Let's do it.
So the Niners got the week started on Tuesday at the Hayes with a Radford team, and quite frankly, after watching the game, the Niners run rule Radford 10-0. They're under a new coaching staff. They're kind of restarting there. Radford, what I would say about them is they didn't play sloppy. Okay, they did not play a sloppy game, but just as far as what we were able to do versus what they were able to do, we're at 2 different places in the talent cycle, right? I think is a fair way to say it. They just didn't have what they need to be competitive in that game, and it shows up in the stats. Kramer got the start, went 3 innings, and then they kind of parked him, but he did 3 innings of shutout baseball. We had Austin Knight got a homer, Jake got a homer. Cam Fisher drove in a couple. Jack had a homer. Just an all-around game. Stallman actually walked the game off, which I didn't really realize. I don't know about you, Will, but I didn't realize that the run rule was in place.
I didn't either until you hit it.
Yeah, and then Stallman hits a ball out into the outfield, which drives in 2 runs, which made it 10-0 in the bottom of the 7th, and the game was over. I don't know, Will. I don't know what, as a player, I don't know what you guys would say about that. But from the stands, what I would say is that you played a team that you should have beat pretty handily, and you did. So you check that box, right?
Right. Yeah, I think you go into those games knowing that without maybe necessarily saying, "Listen, we're more talented than them. We're going to beat them by," because everybody knows in baseball in general, but especially college baseball and especially midweeks, crazy stuff happens. So especially with the way that this year's has gone before that game with the scheduling, we're not getting. I don't know. We may have had 2 games that we won comfortably on a weekend, but it doesn't feel comfortable when it's a Friday night game like that. That never feels comfortable. So, going into it on the way over, I was hoping we were going to get a lot of guys at bats. I'm hoping we could get kind of a stress-free last couple innings, and then it turned out to be that. And especially for someone like Colin Kramer, who's had a couple rough outings before, for him to be able to get 3 innings and not be done for the weekend or for the week, and and get out of there feeling confident. And then you mentioned, I guess, 3 guys hit home runs, and then Stallman, I don't even think he started the game, and he comes in and is able to end the game, which is pretty cool. So at the end of the day, as a player and as a team, you expect this, but you always have to approach it like you're playing anyone else. And then when it happens, it's good for the guys. It's good for the guys, not only because a lot of those games you can win by a run or 2, and you go take a shower and you're like, man, like I know we won, but like that's not very good. That's not, we're kind of worried going into the weekend. So for them to have that kind of dominating win, gets them going mentally, for the weekend, which they ended up, I guess, splitting with UTSA.
Yeah. So the story of this weekend, I guess the player with the biggest impact for the entire weekend is Mother Nature. Because this series was scheduled to be Thursday to Saturday anyway, because of the holiday weekend. Got moved up to a doubleheader starting at 11 a.m. On Thursday to try to get as much baseball in as possible. Even moving the game up, we still ended up with a 3-hour delay in game 2, which I think actually probably ended up being to our benefit a little bit. We can talk about that. But game 1, UTSA coming in, Will, when you look at them on paper, nobody's got a strength of schedule like we do, or very few, right? But when you look at them on paper, offensively, they look stacked. And pitching, they look stacked. They don't have, on paper, they don't have a whole lot of, they don't have a whole lot of weaknesses.
Right.
That first game, we lose 5-3. But man, there have been, and I know you're in tune to this as well, Will. There have been a handful of games this year, probably, I don't know, I'm going to say like 5 or 6 games, where we can look back already this season and go, man, we had that game, could have won it. And this game goes in that category.
Yeah, I think I didn't watch this one in person. I was watching it at home, and it's one of those games on, it's a Thursday, which is weird in the first place because you're a day early with Wyatt. He's gonna be throwing a day early, and then it feels big. I mean, the game, to be honest, like I'm not on the team, but this past weekend coming in felt huge. There's the big guy.
Whoa, look at this.
What's up, guys?
What's
Nick,
up, Coach?
old man, how we doing?
We're doing great. How are you?
Great. Just over here watching some baseball at the alma mater, seeing if I can find a quiet spot to post up.
Well, we've already explained. You've already given more information than we have. We've already explained, Woody, that you are in a undisclosed location.
Undisclosed location.
So what's a little bit chilly tonight, but got to be cool getting out and checking out some high school baseball, right?
Oh man, it's the best. And then on top of that, it's my high school and playing Charlotte Christian, so it's awesome. I got a brick here with my name on it. It's 20 years old.
Okay.
So,
Man, I feel like you're doing a lot of disclosing.
are we recording right now? I didn't know we were recording.
No, we're not recording, Woody. We're on live. Well, forget that.
Oh, cool.
We're just streaming around the world.
I got you. Well, hey everybody.
Oh man, well, I'll tell you where we were, Coach.
I'm gonna have to go back and take that out, I guess.
No, that's fine.
Producer Brad can make that go away. Not live, but later he can make that go away. So we were just about to do. We talked about game one. We kind of brushed through Radford, but we were just talking about game one and it being a game that was there for the taking and a game that was right there. But sometimes those things just don't get done, Coach.
Yeah, I mean it's baseball. It's sometimes it's less about. Sometimes it's just about which team can make the fewest mistakes and the fewest blunders, and credit to them. Game one, they made fewer than us, and that was the difference.
Yeah. So, Will, I know we ran into each other out there. Were you there? Did you arrive? At what point did you arrive during all this?
I arrived at probably the worst part of the weekend. I think I walked in, it was 1-0 in the second game. I went in the bathroom. I came out, just 5-0, and then the rain delay, and I was like, all right, I need to leave. So I ended up going. I had class at 5:30, so I tried to wait around, and then I saw the weather wasn't going to get much better. So I went to class, and then through all that, I still was able to come back and watch the best part of the second game. So.
You're so right, Will, that he did that, Coach. He went to the bathroom, and he walked out, and he goes, what just happened? It was 1-0 when I walked in there. I said, well, if I was you, I might just go back in there and stay.
The good news is the Niners can score in a hurry too, and we did that once we got resumed.
Well, the good news is there was a rain delay because we all know for whatever reason the 49ers are good after rain delays.
Yeah, I think some of the guys are saying don't give us a halftime.
Yeah, that's what we said last year like 15 times.
Yeah, don't give us a halftime, and sure enough.
So the rain delay actually, I think, in a lot of instances, but certainly in this one, ends up being to our benefit. Yes.
I mean, looking back in hindsight, I don't think anybody was really excited to be down 5-0 in the second inning with a rain delay. To be honest, I think everybody was mad, and I think everybody was ready to get going again. I think sitting around for 3 hours, kind of just everybody was just mad, and then to everyone in the program's credit, hit the reset button, and we talked very briefly right when we went back on defense, but after we came back in from defense, after Danye got the last out, got the team together and just asked him what the score was, and the guy said 0-0. I said, that's right, let's go hit. Because that's the mindset we had to have. If you've got that mindset that you're playing from behind, and if we played like it was 0-0, it felt like we could score a lot of runs. So we just tried to make sure we were in the right mindset.
So, Will, from a player standpoint, when you've got one of these types, and you mentioned Marshall earlier last year, you guys weren't even in a locker room, you were on a bus. But at home, you get to go back to the locker room. What are you guys doing for 3 hours? What is there to even do or talk about in that kind of rain delay?
Yeah, well, I'll tell you because we definitely had a couple, like similar to the UTSA one where we are down. And when that happens, it's like it seems, especially I'll speak first as a fan. When I saw UTSA jump out to that early lead, I know it's easy to roll over in that kind of game, especially with the weather. But when you have to go sit in the locker room and you have to look at yourself in the mirror for 3 hours, it's like, what are we doing this for? Like, we're going to have to go play. This is going to take the whole day. Like, why not? Why not completely reset and go after it? So, I think in that kind of situation, it's, the guys there's not a lot of talking. There's a lot of sitting around. There's a lot of maybe eating just to be ready, for whenever it happens. But that's when you really look yourself in the mirror and you figure out who you want on your team and who you want to be on the field.
So, Coach, what are you doing for 3 hours?
Pretty much just making sure that everybody is staying up to speed with the current weather status. I've been a visiting team before when you kind of get left in the dark on things. So you're just making sure that whatever information we have, that UTSA's coaching staff and they have, and making sure that everybody is, sheltered in the indoor or the locker room, stay safe. I mean, that's kind of honestly just keeping everybody safe and keeping everybody informed. That's, scouts included. There's a lot of scouts hung around. There's probably at least 8 to 10 scouts that stayed around to see the resumption. And so just making sure that they stay informed and, and then that's pretty much it for 3 hours. Just every 15 to 20 minutes, just keeping everybody ready to go. And then, staying in the mindset that we could do it, too, and making sure that when our guys came back, they felt it, because that stuff matters.
Is that the most amount of scouts you can recall seeing at a regular season game at the Hayes? Because it seemed like there was, I know during the fall, a lot of scouts come in and see guys throw and stuff like that. But man, it seemed like about 1 out of every 3 people in the stands on Thursday was a scout.
Yeah, I'd venture to say there's probably almost 25 major league teams in attendance, which I thought it might be the case. So our coaching staff, we send weekly emails to every major league team, each Monday with our schedule and our projected rotation, and then kind of some updates on some guys on how they're doing and if that sort of thing. So because that's a big part of the deal, right? Like we recruit these guys to come to Charlotte to help us win games and championships, but we also, in trade-off, we want them to have the opportunities to play at the next level. So I had a pretty good idea just based on the volume of communication that our coaching staff was getting on Tuesday and Wednesday, that especially with us moving up to the Thursday start to 11 a.m., that it was going to be pretty heavily attended. So certainly great to see, and just, I think all the guys that the team came in to see would be the first ones to tell you that, they wish that we would have taken that first one, but we always appreciate seeing that many teams coming to watch our guys because they deserve it.
Now, Will, did you pick up on what was happening with the scouts between with Jake batting right before Fish in the order? Were you following that action, Will?
Yeah, I actually, it's funny you say that. I think it was during the second game, or it was during the second game after class when I came back. I was sitting on the top the top row of the lower level, and I didn't notice the scouts on the, first base line when Jake was hitting. But then I turn around and all 58 of them are walking to the third base line, and then I look down and it's like, okay, well, that makes sense. Cam's hitting now.
Yeah, so when Jake was, I guess Jake was batting in the third spot and Fish in the fourth. I think I have that right. All the scouts are over there on the first base side when Jake is at the plate, and they've all got their phones out getting video of Jake at the plate. And then as soon as Jake's AB is over, and I think, Will, you said 58. That's a great number. All 58 of them are basically at a trot to get to the third base side so they can get their cell phones back out for a Cam Fisher AB. So, and this went on all day. It was pretty funny to watch that happen. But those guys gave him something to look at too. So after the rain delay, Niners come out in the bottom of the fourth and drop 6. I mean, I don't know. Will, you can speak about this from a player standpoint, and Woody, you can talk about it from a coach standpoint. But when you're down 7 and then you just drop 6 on them. Just like, I mean, if you're up 7 in any game, right? You're thinking, well, maybe I'm safe. We're good. And then you watch a team drop 6 on you like that. I mean, you still got the lead, but you don't, right? I mean, just what's going on in your headspace?
I'll let Will lead off first.
Yeah, well, first of all, we have seen, we talked about it before Coach Woodard got on. We've been up 7 rounds before and lost a game. And there's that in the back of your head, like, okay, well, and it's funny because it was against the same team last year. So there's that. And that's what I was personally even thinking. I'm like, this is funny. It's 7-0. It was 7-0 last year. So there's that. But then there's also, again, in a rain delay, the amount of, like, I'll say the word false, but the crazy confidence and like what you really in your head convince yourself that you guys can do when you come out of the locker room because you're so mad and you're so ready to go. It can turn into a legitimate thing, which it obviously did in the second game.
Yeah, I mean, I think just to kind of piggyback off of what Will said, it's like I think as a coach now, and I remember as a player, like when I was a pitcher, and if I had an opportunity to go, pitch on either side of that, I remember pitching up 7 or down 7. It was just kind of like you almost want to trick yourself into the mindset that it's 0-0 because, when you start playing, I've always believed like when you start playing more passively, all of a sudden because you're just trying to preserve a lead, or you play overly aggressive because, you're just, you're trying to come back or whatever it may be. Like if you just keep playing the same way, you're probably going to be fine. So I think I've always felt like that's really important. I just feel like our guys did a great job. And, I mean, if you pay attention to any college baseball social media, I mean, there's teams that are, there's a team a week or two ago that went down 12-0 and came back and won. And I mean, college baseball is just crazy. So you're better off not even really looking at the scoreboard and just playing your game until they tell you to stop.
Yeah, and you make a great point, Will. We did owe them a 7-0 comeback because that's exactly what happened in San Antonio last year. So it was good to give them a little bit of that back. Really, I mean, at the end of this game, game 2 on Thursday, I felt like, at least from the stands, that all the momentum was on our side, and I could not wait for game 3 to start. Now we know it never happened with the weather, but we kind of suspected that coming in, right? But yeah, I mean, I was like, oh yeah, this is it. All the momentum was rolling our way. Some outstanding performances in that game. Cam was 3 for 4 with a double and a homer, drove in 4. Stallman had a home run with 3 RBIs. Austin Knight in that game, he goes 2 for 3 and hits 2 homers, which the second one, the first home run Austin hit was like, oh, okay, here we go. The second one was like, he's going to do it again. I don't know if y'all felt that way, but I did. When Austin was coming to the plate, I'm like, oh my God, he's going to do this again. And sure enough, that's exactly what he did. And then a little controversy ensued, I think.
Well, I'll just say not on the controversy side, but when Austin when he's hitting balls off the batter's eye or close to the batter's eye in that vicinity, like he's dialed in. He's really tough to pitch to. So, seeing him do that, seeing him leave the yard just to left the batter's eye, that bodes well. That boded well for the rest of his at bats that day, and I think for us moving forward.
Now, Will, you've actually pitched to these guys.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's I mean, Austin, obviously, when I came in, especially, he was coming off of the greatest year ever. So it was, you dial it in big time for those kind of guys. And then, guys like Cam, I faced before I even knew who he was the summer before I got to Charlotte, when he was playing for Forest City and CPL. And, my dad literally told me, he's like, I didn't never know his name, but I always hated him because it was always a tough at bat for you. So, and on top of that, all the guys I still am in contact with all those guys. But to see, Cam, especially having the year he's having, has been awesome. And I keep texting him, telling him how happy I am for him. So yeah, it's been cool to watch it.
Now, will you comment on the controversy, Will? Because I will.
I'll just say that I'm happy that Austin hit 2 home runs in a big part of the game. So, and I think he should celebrate a little bit.
Yeah. And for those of you that didn't see it, he flipped the bat. I mean, it's pretty epic bat flip, but in the context of 1, the moment, and 2, other things you see, particularly like whole team coordinated celebrations in the dugout. It was pretty tame for people to get upset about. So anyway,
I don't. Me personally, I don't think when you flip a bat at your own dugout,
right?
Like, I mean, I don't think that's even a thing. So
no,
it is what it is.
The other dugout. If you turn around and you flip it at their dugout, now we got a problem, right?
Well, that's where you at least warrant like a, hey, look, like, we're sorry, like, that won't happen again. Like, that's not what we do. That's not what should be done. But like, I mean, look, the players need to be able to play with emotion. They need to be able to play with, fire, and I mean, it's good for the game. I mean, you watch all the, if you watch any like Winter Dominican League Baseball or World Baseball Classic, and you watch some of the best players in the world from all these other countries, like, it's just a normal thing. So I don't know. I think we need to be a little bit less rigid on some of that stuff, but.
You don't even have to go to the Dominican, Coach. You can just cross Phillips Road, go over there to the softball stadium, go over to the Sioux, and see how softball players celebrate, because it is off the hook. If a pitcher throws a big strike 3 to end an inning, the catcher is likely, and it's a big spot, and it's a big strike 3. The catcher's probably going to get up and spike the ball off the dirt, and it goes bouncing up in the air. And I mean, the stuff they do over there at softball, and everybody does it, and everybody's cool with it, But if you do this on the other side of the road, all of a sudden, you know what I'm talking about. You've seen it. It's the softball celebrates like crazy. All
crazy stuff happening at the Sioux. Crazy stuff.
Well, it's not just the Sioux. I mean, it's kind of softball culture. I mean, if you do something big, you're kind of expected to celebrate that. And they do. But for some reason in college baseball, some people think that you should be upset about making a big play or something. I don't know. What? I
mean, you have a chance to not let that happen. I mean, I was a player that I remember, like, I mean, sorry, a player I almost got ran into. I mean, as a player, like, you have an opportunity to get the guy out, and you have an opportunity to get hit off the guy. I mean, I think, not talking about our program or college baseball in general, but a whole other thought I'll share is that I think like I would likely expect to see kind of the more old school knockdown pitch kind of come back. I think that's something that, with more of the celebrations that are occurring, like, I think, there was the knockdown pitch in like the 80s and the 90s, and then 2000s and 10s just sort of like got weeded out. But now I think with celebrations, like, I think and guys throwing harder, I think you're going to see more pitchers trying to throw more knockdown pitches with hitters celebrating. And I'm not saying that's better or worse in the game. I'm anticipating it.
Will, are you up for throwing some knockdown pitches?
Well, I mean, I haven't been in a batter's box in a while, so I'll always support the pitchers going after, protecting their guys. But that would be interesting to see if we go back to the old school ways.
Yeah, and I don't know. Everybody just needs to grow some thicker skin, I think. That's just my opinion. But all right, so Coach, we mentioned that we were going to do this. That win, that 12-10 win, happened to be your 100th win. And I know you got a Gatorade bath. There was a lot of, we saw video. They got good video of you getting the Gatorade bath. What was not out there? Yeah, they got you. So what we want to show you is there was a video out there on social media that showed some of the current players congratulating you on 100 wins. However, there was an extended album version that you see. What you saw on social media was the single. We actually have the album version of that track, and not a lot of people got to see it. We got it for you here, and we want to roll that. So, Coach, it's about 6.5 minutes. So just hang out with us. We'll give you a chance to respond to it. Will hasn't seen it. I know a lot of people haven't. There's going to be a lot. If you're out there watching, there's going to be a lot of familiar faces in this. Sit back and check out this video of congratulatory messages for Coach Woodard's 100th win. We're not getting sound, producer Brad.
I know that guy.
I know that guy. Everybody knows that guy. We just can't hear him.
He's actually
moments that stand out to me are, that first walkthrough around the facility and the notes that we took, and one of those first road games at Tennessee, and in the rain, and all the the thoughts that we had, and we're putting them down on paper and then putting them into practice. Just wanted to say congrats, thanks, love you, dude, appreciate everything you do, man. Keep going, you're the best. Go Niners.
Many milestones as a head coach. Congratulations on your 100th win. It's been a fun ride. Looking forward to many more.
Those two guys have been here for all of them.
100 wins. Congrats, Skip. Here's to many more.
What's up, Coach? Hello from the snack room. Just want to say congrats on 100 wins. Can't thank you enough for all that you've done for me as a player and now as a coach. Really grateful to be able to learn from you and the rest of the coaching staff every single day. Appreciate all that you do. Here's to 100 wins.
Coach, congrats on 100 wins. It's an honor and a privilege to get to work with you and learn from you every day. Thank you for everything that you do for this program.
Hey, Coach Woodard, congrats on win number 100. It's a huge accomplishment and first of many for you. Go Niners.
100 wins. That is a lot of podcast content, Coach.
Coach, we know you're already thinking about how to get 101, 102, and 103, but let's take a minute to celebrate 100 wins as head coach of the Charlotte 49ers.
And we cannot wait to talk about the next 100.
Congrats, Coach.
Coach, congratulations on 100 wins in Charlotte. Unbelievable accomplishment, but knowing you're probably already looking forward to 200. You're changing the landscape of Charlotte baseball, and it's in the beginning. Love you, 2L. Forever thankful for you and our relationship. Go Niners.
What's up, Coach Woodard? Congrats on the 100th win. Blessed to say that I was on the field with you for the very first one that you got. Excited to see what you and the boys got in store the rest of the year and what you got in store for the rest of your career. Congrats again, and go Niners.
Hey, Coach, congrats on your 100th win. Good luck to you and the boys the rest of the season. Go Niners.
Congrats on 100 wins, Coach. I'll never forget my visit with you guys at Charlotte, and then knowing as soon as I walked out of that place how much I wanted to be there. 1 year that I spent at Charlotte will always be one of my favorite years of my life. I can't wait to continue to watch you grow as a person and as a coach and where you can take this program. Love you, dude.
So, Coach, just want to say congratulations on 100 career wins. And just want to thank you for all the time and effort you poured into me and my development. And I wouldn't have the opportunities I have if it wasn't for you. So just want to say thank you for that. Congratulations and many more to come.
What's up, Coach? Congrats on 100 wins. Many more to come. Thanks for everything.
Hey, Coach Woodard. Just wanted to wish you congratulations on 100 career wins. That's awesome. It was awesome knowing that I could be a part of that. And, next stop's going to be 1,000 career wins, okay?
Hey, Coach Woodard, congrats on 100 wins. Glad to be a part of a couple in that first team and still sticking around and working with you today. Love the direction you're taking the program and hope hundreds and hundreds of more wins here in your future. Go Niners.
Hey there, Coach. Congratulations on win number 100. That's big time. Keep up the great work. Hopefully many more to come, and go Niners.
congratulations on win number 100, Robert. Sure am glad I've gotten to see some of those and plan on seeing a couple more in the next 100. I sure do love you.
Hey, Robert. We're going to keep this short because we know there are lots of folks there who want to congratulate you on your 100th win. We congratulate you, and we also want to tell you how proud we are of you.
Robert, I also want to thank you for turning me into a huge baseball fan. I had no idea what I was missing out on. I love to watch the 49ers play.
And congratulations as well to Coach Ashley Chastain on her recent 100th win and for being her usual thoughtful self in putting this celebration together.
Congratulations, Robert and Ashley. Go Niners!
Go Niners!
Greetings from the Arden, North Carolina chapter of Niner Nation. Robert, if I know you, and I think I do, you're going to want to deflect all this attention, all the knowledge, players, past and present, coaches, and your staff, and you would be right to do so. But I also think that you should take a moment and embrace this 100th year. You're a smart, compassionate mentor, teacher, and friend. I'm very proud of you. As your uncle, I have this photograph when you were 6 years old and playing in your first T-ball game, but I'm not going to show it right now. That's my gift to you.
Hey, Woody, congratulations on the 100 career wins. That certainly was fast. I'm so happy for you. Very proud of you. Extremely proud of you and follow you closely. And I know there's many, many more to come for you. Congratulations.
So there you go, the extended album version of the Robert Woodard 100 wins congratulations video. Coach, I'm just going to give you the floor and let you respond to that.
Yeah, I mean, I just wish everybody could feel what I get to feel on a daily basis. You know, it's like I get to coach college baseball in my hometown. You know, surrounded by incredible people, you know, with an incredible girlfriend and amazing family. And, you know, and then I get to, you know, listen to those types of things. And while I'm sitting here at my high school alma mater with my college teammate coaching third base, you know, it's just like, man, I hope everybody gets to feel feel what I get to feel right now. And Thursday night, just, you know, because it just feels, you know, I feel extremely fortunate, extremely lucky. I texted, you know, Mike Hill sent me a really nice text message after the game on Thursday, and I told him the truth, and it's the truth. It's like I feel even more fortunate and more excited, which is hard to believe than the day I got here. And it's just a credit to this place and the people, you know, all throughout, you know, our baseball program and athletic department in this city. And, you know, so yeah, hopefully that does justice how I feel. But I told our guys this, I hope my thought driving home is I hope that every single player in our program, current, you know, past and future, I hope that they get to pursue some occupation that allows them to feel what I get to feel, you know, because it's special.
So that's pretty cool. You don't get a lot of chances to have days like that, and that's one of them. So got some congratulations coming in here over YouTube. My buddy James H up in Haywood County says congratulations, Coach Woodard. How about Quentin Martinez? Quentin Martinez is writing in now. It's not a congratulatory note, but it is a note. that says that he loves Will Lancaster. So
I love you, Quentin.
Love you too, Q.
Tell you he was going to do that?
No, he might have. He might have texted me. I'm sure. No, he hasn't. He's just trying to call some ruckus.
He's probably going split screen Mario Kart and podcast.
Yeah, while he's eating some Dino Nuggets.
Yep.
You know, I mean, I'll be honest with you. That sounds pretty cool.
Not a good. I mean,
He's got it figured out. Professional baseball player, elite Mario Karter. He's got it figured out.
That's awesome. All right, so moving on from there, we're gonna move towards talking about the week ahead because it is another big week. But before we do that, we need to point out here some breaking news or that just broke recently here. With Cam Fisher being named to the Golden Spikes midseason watch list, we got a graphic on that. My gosh, Cam Fisher deserves every bit of recognition he gets for what he's doing right now with the damage he's doing at the plate, guys. And this is recognition of the work he's put in. But man, he's up there. He's leading the team in most offensive categories, and he's top 5 in the nation in several more categories, including home runs. Just an awesome season that Cam Fisher is having, Coach.
Yeah, sorry. There's a ball just smoked off the wall.
Well, that's appropriate for that to happen when we're talking about Cam.
Yeah, it's about this hitter's kind of looking like Cam at the moment, but yeah, I mean he's one of the best. He's one of the best hitters, one of the best players in the country. He's one of the best people. You always hear the coach speak coming up when your best players are the best people and you're the best leaders and the hardest workers. Then you got something special, and Cam is all those things. And I enjoy. Every time his intro song gets played and get to write his name in blue ink and in the lineup card, it's a good feeling, for sure.
Now, Will, you mentioned this. That was kind of a unique story. I had not heard that one before. So even before you knew who Cam Fisher was, you knew who Cam Fisher was, and you didn't like facing him.
No, I didn't. I just remember it being an athletic lefty that none of my pitches really played well against him. And then I had to come earn a spot at Charlotte while facing him, which was tough. And then, like Coach Woodard said, obviously you're going to be happy for any of your teammates having big years, but he's one of those dudes that you want at your wedding, and you truly believe he's one of the best people you've ever met. And then you're just, he's extremely fortunate to be with Coach Woodard and those guys, and they're extremely fortunate to have him on the team. And again, just to see him doing what he's doing it's not a surprise. It's not a surprise if you see what he does every day. And then, just now every at bat I see him, I'm like, well, I hope they don't. The only bad thing that could happen is he could hit a ball too hard at somebody and it's a double play. But it's somehow he finds a barrel every at bat, and it's been extremely fun to watch.
Yeah, he's a monster, and from the attention he was getting from the scouts, really all along, but certainly this past weekend, I think he's going to have some career opportunities coming his way in the not so distant future, along with some other guys on the roster as well. But moving forward, we are now less than 24 hours away from the next out-of-conference game at the Hayes Tuesday night, 6 p.m. Against Winthrop. You can see that on ESPN Plus if you so desire, but why would you want to do that? The weather's looking pretty good for tomorrow night. Come on out to the Hayes and grab a hot dog and a cold one and watch some baseball. Winthrop's coming in 15-18, 4-8 in their league, RPI of 121. They did lose a series this weekend at Charleston Southern. But as Will said earlier in this matchup, earlier in the show, we were talking about Radford. It's midweek baseball, and midweek baseball can be extremely crazy sometimes, Coach. So what can we look for with the matchup against Winthrop?
Well, they're a very aggressive offense. They got a good lineup top to bottom, and when they get on the bases, they try to they try to put a lot of pressure on you and run. And I imagine they'll probably they'll probably throw a bunch of different arms. Just getting ready for conference play. But we split with them last year, and they've always Coach Reginos he's been at Winthrop for a long time, and they're always really tough and have some really great. We have some great battles with them. So, like you said, the weather should be great, and it should be an awesome night for Niner Nation to come out, and alumni and current students to come out and taking a good game.
Now, is there any truth to the rumor that Matt Brooks is coming out of retirement to pitch that game?
Man, I have not heard that, but if that's true, let me know. I'll write him in there.
Well, maybe it's not Matt. Maybe Will's going to come out. What do you think, Will?
Will can too. Come on.
I would love to. I would absolutely.
We'll take both of them.
Yeah, that'd be so. Will, you were in the dugout for that Winthrop game last year. What are your recollections of that?
Well, I know we played him. Excuse me. We played him twice. I guess the first time is when we lost to him. And that was when we were scuffling quite a bit, and then we're able to get him. I guess it seemed like 2 weeks later. I don't remember much. I also played him a couple of times when I was at USC Upstate. I do remember them being athletic at the time. Obviously we're gonna feel like we're more talented overall, but we're gonna feel like that against anyone. And I think that first game especially, they felt like they were more talented, and they came out and punched us in the mouth. It's gonna be the same coach, so they're gonna have that same mentality, and it's gonna be one of those games that you have to be prepared for, maybe more so than other midweek games against non-conference teams.
Yeah, sunny and 69 tomorrow, folks. So get out to the Hayes, and should be a good night at the ballpark. Now, let's talk about what we got coming up, because the weekends are so big, and it seems like they keep getting bigger. This past weekend, a split with UTSA. They're number one team in the league, and have been a big. At times it seemed like they've kind of been our kryptonite. So getting a win over them was huge. Third game gets canceled, so we're going to have a half game missing in the standings for the rest of the year. But this weekend, we're heading on the road to Rice, to Reckling Park, which is not only a big series on the road, but it's also we're visiting the site of this year's Conference USA tournament. So this is doubly big this weekend, playing some games down in Houston. You can see there ESPN Plus for tomorrow night's game. Conference USA TV, I'm sorry to report, Conference USA TV for the weekend at Rice, but Friday 7:30, Saturday at 3, and then Sunday at 2. But we are, as we sit here in the league right now, the Niners are 6-5, 5th in the conference, 3 games back, and you can see there Rice is right there, essentially a half game behind because of the schedule work with UTSA. But these are huge, Coach, and it's going to be a scrap when you go down there and play the Rice Owls.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Coach Cruz, I think he's in his second or third year now, and like any new coach comes in, and especially with his background, his pedigree at the major league level, it's just going to be better and better each year. So they've pitched it really well. They've got a lot of really good arms. They've got their best hitters from last year all back. And then anytime you go on the road, it's tough. So Reckling Park's a cool setting right there in downtown Houston. It's actually 20 years ago was my first college road trip. It was, it would have been the spring of 2004, right after Rice was coming off the national championship in 2003. That was my first. I didn't have a very good outing there. I didn't pitch against Rice. It was a tournament, but so I followed that program over the years, storied program with rich in tradition and, a hotbed for baseball. So, they've got a good team. We'll certainly have a good challenge in front of us.
Will, what are your recollections of playing in Reckling Park?
Well, I didn't ever play down there. We played
That's
because
true.
we played them last year at home. I didn't have a great outing. I remember. I think we beat them 3 times, but like I said, I didn't have a great outing. But like Coach Woodard said, the program, and that's the team you play with. When I used to play college baseball on my PlayStation, like that was one of the teams you played with, and to have that, it feels like that maybe was a while ago, but that's gonna always be there, and that's always gonna be the standard. And for a guy to come, like Coach Cruz, I think since he played in the major leagues, he knows what it looks like. On and off the field, and then so at any point that program is going to blow up and is going to be back to what they were. So you better come prepared, especially when you're going to their place.
I think they made Coach Woodard, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think maybe they changed up their staff a little bit after last year. Did they hire a new pitching coach? Is that right?
They did. They hired I think Parker Bangs from Davidson. They've had some changes over there, and I only got to be in the dugout for one of the games last year. I'm sure old man remembers that. So I'm just thinking, you know what? As of right now, I get to be in the dugout for all 3, and I'm just excited about that.
What did you do exactly? Do you remember?
See, this is why I hate to bring it up, so I don't even remember.
Will, do you remember what he did?
Yeah, he kept saying he wanted his number on the wall at Carolina, and they didn't want to hear it. So
yeah.
They told him he couldn't coach the next 2.
Yeah.
Remember, spot on. Yeah, that's exactly it. Yep.
Yeah, I don't remember what was. I couldn't hear what was going on down there because I was too busy yelling. Will talked earlier in the when he first got on, Coach, about not wanting to be very. What is that? You said you didn't want to act in the stands.
Oh gosh, I don't know what word I used. I don't want to be too rambunctious.
Yeah, he didn't want to be too expressive in the stands. He said, and I said, "Don't worry, you're in my world now. We'll teach you." He's got some mentors in the stands, Coach. We're gonna whip him into shape in no time.
It's a matter of time, Will. Matter of time.
We got this, man. I got you, fam. We can show you how to get that done. So Rice is coming off losing a series at home to Louisiana Tech, so they're going to be looking. They're going to be wanting to rebound from that. So going to be a brawl all weekend. If you haven't paid for Conference USA TV, it's probably worth it this weekend. It's $9.95. So I'm not familiar with the Rice broadcast, but we'll hopefully it'll be pretty good, and we'll be able to see the Niners play. Or heck, I don't know, maybe you just feeling froggy, go get yourself an airline ticket and head to Houston. I'm trying to figure out how to do that myself for the conference tournament. So we'll see. Let's see what shakes out, guys. We're coming to the end of the show. Coach, you got any final thoughts from your undisclosed location?
Yeah, I didn't do a very good job of that, so that's on me. But no, I mean, like I said earlier, it's just I feel like I have the coolest job on the planet, and I feel like I'm the luckiest person on the planet that I get to do what I do, where I get to do it with the people I get to do it with, and so I just can't emphasize that enough, and I hope that every one of our players, is fortunate to have that feeling at some point. Certainly once, but frequently in whatever path they choose, because I'm blessed. I'm really fortunate.
Will Lancaster, you've been on Diamond Niners Weekly. How's that feel?
That's good. It's not the year that I thought it was going to happen, but I'm glad it finally happened.
Well, let's not make it your last time. You did a great job tonight. We appreciate you stepping in and coming in off the bench and getting the job done. All right, folks, we're out of time for this week. Look for this podcast wherever you find your podcast. If you're watching us on YouTube, think about subscribing to the channel and turning on notifications so you'll be notified of fresh content. Find Diamond Niner Report on social media, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, never TikTok. If you're old-fashioned like us, just say hello at the Hayes or feel free to reach out at any time. For producer Brad, for Will Lancaster, Coach Woody, this is Nick saying we'll see you at the Hayes.
Thanks, everybody. Go Niners.
Thank y'all.